time to mount up. Why? Because it's Monday Night Football. New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks. This is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about the game tonight, of course. Want to talk about, is Daniel Jones now the fourth best quarterback in the NFC East? Want to talk about the curse of Geno Smith. I was talking to James Williams yesterday, and of course, James is going to be with me at the game tonight. And we were talking about, how Geno Smith unceremoniously came in and replaced Eli Manning. And of course, I don't blame Geno Smith. It was the McAdoo's decision, allegedly. I personally think that the Maras had a lot to do with the McAdoo decision in reference to replacing Eli Manning and breaking the Iron Man streak. And we've said it once, we've said it before, we said it a million times. If you were going to go or with the thought process of, we want to take a look at that young quarterback, you would have started Davis Webb. You would not have started Geno Smith. And of course, Eli threw a muck in all the plans and basically said, I'm not doing it. They said to Eli, you could start the game, keep your Iron Man streak alive, but then we're going to bring Geno in the second half. Eli said no. Now, we were talking about this, James and I, and then we were talking about the curse of the Billy Goat with the Boston Red Sox and selling Babe Ruth and all that. And now I'm not a superstitious guy.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
All right, so maybe I am a little stitious. Is this the curse? Is this the Eli Manning curse? Is this the Geno Smith curse? Can this curse be lifted tonight by having the Giants go out and wallop the Seattle Seahawks? That's my question. Can this curse be lifted tonight? And I'm going to tell you this. If the Giants go out on Monday Night Football and lay another egg, on Tuesday, I am going to have to do an entire video just dedicated to the curse. Because I was telling James, I don't think the curse is real. But at the end of the day, if you take a look at this and you take a look at the Giants' history and record since that game, I don't even like talking about that game, but about that game, there could be something there. There could be a there. This is a game right now that I think the Giants have to take a look at and say, we have an opportunity. There's a plethora of injuries on the Seattle Seahawks side. And there's a good opportunity that, well, it's not a good opportunity. They're going to be without their starting corner. They're going to be out with their starting slot corner. You have people like Charles Cross, who's listed as doubtful with a toe injury. You got, Bryant, also listed as doubtful. And so more than likely, he's probably not going to play. You got the other, you just have a large amount of people that are out. You got Trey Brown, who's in concussion protocol, and it looks like he's going to miss the game. There's just so many guys in this secondary for the Seattle Seahawks that are just not going to be in the game, that are just going to be out. And it should be the opportunity for the Giants to attack the secondary. I know Jamal Adams looks like he's going to be making his season debut after injuring his arm. I think it was in week 1. So it looks like he is going to be making that season debut. But there is just so many people that are just, if you look at their cornerback situations, they got Brown, Bryant, and Burns. All didn't practice. All basically listed as either out or questionable. You got Julian Love was also limited practice. People forget that Julian Love is going to be in this game. You got Julian Love, who's actually having quite the season. You got Woolen, the other quarterback, who is also, he looks like he's going to go as well. But you have a secondary which is damaged. Their free safety also has, Quadri Diggs also has a hamstring issue. And yes, I understand they're bringing Jamal Adams back in, but you have so many people on this. You have so many people on this injury report that you kind of just look at it and say, if I am the New York Giants, and I talked about this in the stream yesterday, I would attack. I would immediately go on the offensive. I would immediately go to that passing attack, which you hope is going to excel because of the fact that they are going to have so many second and third team guys sitting there waiting, for Jalen Hyatt and Waller and Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson and everyone else. So there should be an opportunity. There should be a chance. There should be a willingness for the Giants to throw the ball deep and throw the ball deep repeatedly. And I don't care about the offensive line. Stop with the excuses. Brock Purdy threw the ball in less than 2 seconds when they played the Giants. He put up 300 plus yards plus 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones had more time in the pocket to throw the ball, but we don't want to talk about that. If they are getting to you with the rush, what do? You go to a short passing game. You go to a two-step drop and get the ball out like San Francisco does. You alter your game plan. When you have a team like Seattle who is, if you take a look at it on paper, decimated in certain positions in the secondary, that is a weakness you need to exploit. There should be no thought process beyond attack, attack, attack. Andrew Thomas, of course, is out for the Giants. Saquon Barkley is doubtful. I don't know if Saquon Barkley is going to play. It's going to be a short week. I think if anything, you should rest Saquon because you got a big stretch of games coming up. Like I mentioned before, both Burns and Brown, the corners, are out. Cross and Bryant are doubtful. Kobe. Is it Kobe? Yeah, I think it's Kobe. The other corner is doubtful with Charles Cross. You also have questionable Jones, the defensive end, Hall, the linebacker. You got the center with the quad is questionable as well. So you take a look at this, and there is an opportunity. You paid a guy $40 million a year. You gave him 160. Yes, I know it's only about 90 million, but you still gave him a plethora of cash to go out there and attack, to go out there and be the franchise quarterback, to be Mahomian. Look what Mahomes did yesterday against the Jets. That was a bad holding call, though. Non-holding call. I've never seen. I thought they were dancing at one point. And I love that when the Jets defensive lineman, or I don't remember who it even was. I only saw the highlights, was literally hitting the offensive lineman, hitting him, trying to get away from him, hitting him. I think of Bobby Hill. That's my person. I don't know you. And he was hitting him repeatedly to get him off him. And at the end of the day, he still couldn't do it. But this is the game the Giants need to attack. You do have to be careful with Geno Smith. I know Wink is blitzed the most of anyone in the NFL and all that, but you have to be careful with Geno Smith because Geno Smith does have the ability to move in the pocket. He has pocket fluidity. He has pocket presence. He has that escapability. We've talked about it before. Daniel Jones isn't a running quarterback. He's a quarterback who can run. Geno Smith is a running quarterback. So you need to be careful with that as well. You don't want to overcommit on the rush with Geno Smith because he will make you pay, especially with these wide receivers. But at the end of the day, I still think the Giants will find a way. I said 28-17 G-Men, and I even predicted Daniel Jones will throw 4 touchdown passes tonight. The Daniel Jones Penny Boys will go crazy. The Twitter sphere will once again erupt. I'm actually staying off Twitter. Because Twitter is so toxic. Even the people that are trying not to be toxic on Twitter are even toxic. And I'm just kind of done with it. I was watching the games yesterday, and I was watching Dak, and I was watching Sam Howell, and I was watching Jalen Hurts. I was watching Jalen Hyatt too, but I'm going to watch him tonight. And then I was texting back and forth with a bunch of people, and someone even asked me, they said, do you think Daniel Jones is where does he rank right now in the top 4 in the NFC East in reference to quarterbacks? Where do you think he ranks 1 through 4? And I looked down and I said, well, I'd take Jalen Hurts 1. At this point in time, I would still take Dak 2. And then there was the question of Sam Howell and Daniel Jones. And I was watching the Sam Howell game and against the Eagles. Yeah, I was watching the Eagle game. And I was thinking to myself, you go back to the Buffalo game where he threw for 4 interceptions. I think it was the Buffalo game. Yeah, it was the Buffalo game. He threw for 4 interceptions. But then people forget about the Bronco game where he went for almost 302 touchdowns. And even when he threw for 4 interceptions against Buffalo, he still completed 65% of his passes. Then I watched him play yesterday. I watched that comeback. It's amazing that Riverboat Ron kind of left the Riverboat. He's decided to go at online gambling because I don't know why he didn't go. He had the momentum. Why not go for 2? Yeah, he did it against the Giants and it didn't work out well. And I still send him a Christmas card every year. But You had a guy that was hot. Sam Howell at the end of that game was hot. He threw for 290, 1 touchdown, completed 70% of his passes. He looks good in the pocket. It's only an early sample size. Right now, yes, he's completed 66% of his passage for over 1,000 yards, 1,130 yards. He does have more interceptions than touchdowns. He's got 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, but 4 of those interceptions came in one game against Buffalo. And then I compare him to Daniel Jones, and the people are like, well, who would you take number 3 and who would you take number 4? And if you take a look at the Daniel Jones body of work going on year 5, and you take a look at what his ceiling can be, because I don't understand why people continuously talk about Daniel Jones' ceiling. His ceiling is this. Well, you're in year 5. If we're still trying to figure out what Daniel Jones' ceiling is, I think that should be a red flag for a lot of people. But if I had to at the end of the day and someone said you had to make a choice, who would you put 3, who would you put 4? I would literally at this point in time put Sam Howell number 3. And I would put Daniel Jones as 4th. Because I think if you look at Sam Howell, potentially what he can offer, potentially what he can do, and what he's done against the Broncos, the Bills, and the Eagles, that's not I'm sorry, he's thrown for 961 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 900 yards. I'm sorry. If you take a look at what he's done, he looked, and I've watched almost I watched parts of the Bronco game. I watched most of the Bills game, and I watched most of the Eagles game. He looks the, and it's always funny because looks can be deceiving. He looks the part of an NFL quarterback. And if I want to pick a quarterback that I feel probably has potentially a larger upsize and potentially can have the ability to lead a franchise for the next 5 years, you got to take Howell, and then you got to put Jones at number 4. And it's not a slight against Jones. It's just the way it is. If someone said to me, Hyatt or Jones, and Hyatt, Hurts or Jones, I keep thinking Jalen, Hurts or Jones, I'm taking Hurts. They tell me, Dak or Jones, I'm taking Dak. The same thing, like I said, now I had to think about it, and it wasn't an answer that came immediately, but now if they say Howell or Jones, I'm going to go Howell. That can change, but right now, like I said, Sam Howell looks the part of an NFL quarterback. Still think the Giants are going to win this one 28-17. I will be there with the venerable James Williams, hanging out, having a good time in the parking lot. Not getting there as early as last time, but we are going to be there early. So if you see me, say hey. And again, this is Tim. You know what to do. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome.